Hi, I'm Alifia Kasimuddin, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you the process of the workflow that I have created on ClickUp to manage 45 articles per day across five different websites. And the idea is that we can make the entire process organized from writing to publishing so that everything is simple and easy to track. Now, I'd like to give you a bit of the overview of my workflow. As you can see, I have created a space here which is called article workflow. Under that, I have made lists, five lists, which are named after the five websites that I need to handle in this problem. So, the site 1, site 2, site 3, site 4, and site 5. And now I'm going to make you go through the workflow stages that I have created. Now, if you see here, I have made seven different stages in the statuses, which each article has to go through in order for it to be published and completed. So the stages are to write, in writing, ready for editing, fact check, uploading, publish, and yeah, that's the final stage. Now, this is how we can understand which article is in which stage while we're working through the day, and it helps us to understand clearly. Now, I'm going to explain to you the tasks and the team division that I have done. Now, if you see that under every site, I have divided the number of articles in such a way that we can seamlessly complete everything within the day. So I have allotted 10 articles to site 1, 12 articles to site 2, and then 8 articles to site 3, 7 to site 4, and then site 5 has 8 again. So this way we are going to complete all the 45 articles. If you can see, I've also named the articles based on which writer, which editor, and which fact checker is going to work on it. So, for instance, for the first one, as we can see, article 1 on site 1 will be done by writer 1, editor A, and fact checker 1. So, this is how I've named them. In a real world scenario, I would assign it according to the emails of the respective people, whether it's the editor, fact checker, etc. But since I don't have emails now and I'm just doing this solo for an understanding, so I've named the writers, editors, fact checkers here in the task title itself. Now, let's understand how my process works. So, once the article is in the to write stage, it means it's in the first stage, it hasn't begun. Now, once it begins, then it goes through all of these stages, and I'm going to put every article on under a stage based on what is happening. So the first thing that happens is that it is allotted to a writer and it goes in writing. Once the writing is over, we take it to ready for editing. From here, the editor picks it up and starts editing the article. So once that happens, it goes to the editing stage. Now, once we move it to the editing stage, which I'm going to just do it here, yes, and then so we know the editor is going through this editing process. Once he's done it, we move it to the fact checking. Once the fact checking is done, so it's a final deal is done, we put it under uploading. And once it gets uploaded, once we move it to uploading, and then once it is uploaded, we will move it finally into published. And once it gets published, the task is complete. So with the help of these stages, we are able to tell where our article is at what point of the day, whether it's getting fact checked, whether it's getting edited, whether it's getting published. And so this flow makes it easy for us, for anybody to have a look and understand. Now, where is the bottleneck in this current situation? The bottleneck is that editor A can work on all the sites. Editor B can work only on sites 2, 3, and 4, while editor C can work on all sites except site 4. So, site 1, as you see, when I've named the task titles, what I've done is, I'll just show you 1 second. So what I have done here is that when we see the names, you see now for site 1, I have already given all the work to editor A. This is because there are certain limitations when it comes to the editors. Now, so that's the thing that can create a problem. So the only delay that can happen is in the editing stage. Now you see in site 2, just give show it to you. I have assigned all the work to editor B because editor B can work on sites 2, 3, and 4 only, but not on the first site. So and on the fifth site. So for the first site and the fifth site, I haven't assigned the work to editor B because that's a limitation. Now editor C can work everywhere except site 4. So I'll just show you that I have not actually given any work to editor C here. It's being handled by editor B and not editor C. Because again, there's one more limitation that site 4 can only be handled by editor B. So he is doing all the work, he or she is doing all the work here. And then in site 3, as you can see, all the work on the board is being done by editor C because editor C can work on all the sites except site 4. So this kind of limitation where the delay could happen is a bottleneck because we have 8 writers, so we can divide it, like 5, 6 articles to per writer, but with the editor we only have 3. So and then they're not able to edit all the sites, so sometimes many articles can reach one stage, which is the editing stage, and get stuck there. Now, is this bottleneck acceptable or should it be fixed? So, I think to some extent it is fine if the organization is done well, but I do feel that in the long run it can be improved if we add one more editor or allow editors to support each other if there's too much on one editor's plate and another editor is a bit free. So, I think that way distributing work could become easier. So that is how we can fix this bottleneck. Now, how would I prioritize and assign tasks to different team members? As you can see, and I've also previously explained that I have already divided the 45 articles among 8 writers, 3 editors, and 3 fact checkers so that the workload is balanced. Now, how have I done it? I've done it in a way that each writer here, if you have a look, again, we've seen the board, but still, each writer here, I have given 5 to 6 articles per day. Each editor is handling 15 articles per day, and each fact checker is handling 15 articles per day. So, this way, I've ensured that 45 articles are being done in one day, which is our goal. Now, the fact checkers and editors, again, I have divided in this manner that for site 1, which we already know has 10 articles, we have editor A and fact checker 1. As you can see, they are handling the editing and fact checking here. In site 2, there are 12 articles, and for these 12 articles, they are being handled by writers and editors. Now, the editors here is editor B and editor A because these two do not have any limitation when it comes to website 2. They can work here. So, I've allotted all the editing work to B and A, and also fact checking work to fact checker 2 all the way around. So as you can see here, there's editor A and editor B as well handling the editing work. Now for site 3, what I've done is that I have assigned editor C here and fact checker 3. So all the work as per the limitations that have been given to me in this particular scenario. Editor C is going to do all the editing here, and fact checker 3 is going to do all the fact checking. Now, for site 4, depending on the limitations that we had, what I have done is that I have given work to editor B. So, editor B is handling all the 7 articles, and again, fact checker 1 is doing the same. And then we have our last site, which is site 5, where I have given the 8 articles for editing to editor C only, and also fact checker 2 is doing the work here. So in this way, even though there are certain limitations to the editors, but I've ensured that each editor is doing 15 articles a day, each fact checker is doing 15 articles a day, and every writer is doing at least 5 to 6 articles per day. Now, how would I ensure productivity without constantly checking in? Now, I don't need to check in with everyone because there is an option, ClickUp, which is the automation option, which is here. Now, the reason I couldn't automate and show is because I don't have real world assignees with their emails right now. But in a real life scenario, what I would do is I would automate tasks so I can see how many articles are in each stage: writing, editing, fact checking, and uploading, just by looking at these stages that we have created. So I know whichever thing is being assigned. So, say, for example, there's an article and it's been assigned to an editor, so it's in the editing stage, so it goes automatically to the editing stage. I don't have to actually constantly check in on the editor and see if it's being done. I can just have a look here at the stages and I would know which stage which article is in, because the automation would allow the assignees to automatically be assigned to a task when it gets finished from one stage and goes to the other stage. And then this way I can keep everything on track, and if there's any delay, then of course I can check in manually. I can check in by myself and on a personal level with the editors and the fact checkers and writers and people working in the article. But usually I think it would be a very automated process if I can just use the automations like I showed you here, where we can automate things, and then I'll just have a look and see what is happening where. Now, what are the risk factors involved here? The main risks that I feel, which I've already mentioned earlier, that the editors can get overloaded, especially editor B, who can handle 3 sites, and so they might have a lot on their plate. Then we could also have articles that could miss the fact checking stage, or we could have delays in communication. And to fix this, I would always monitor the dashboard to see if anyone has too many tasks, if anyone needs to be reassigned to decrease the workload of someone. And this way, I will be able to ensure that the work is being done and the risk is being addressed. Now, the question about giving updates, I don't think I would have to give updates manually, because in that case I can just share the link to the ClickUp dashboard with the manager or whoever is in the team who wants to have a look, and just by looking at the dashboard they would be able to say which stage the work is in. They'd be able to see what is happening, and that would give them a good overview. So the leadership team can see progress anytime without waiting for messages, without waiting for me to tell them manually. And there's also this option on ClickUp to schedule automatically. We can schedule summary reports. So every few hours, even that can be done. I want to show you the dashboard that I have created for this space. It's a very simple one right now. So I have named it the daily article progress board, and I have created 2 cards under this. One is the workload by status card, and one is the task list. So if I'm sharing the dashboard, simply by looking at this, a person can tell what stage which article is in. So right now we have 41 articles that need to be written, ready for editing. There's one article in the process that is ready for editing, one that is being edited, one that has been published. So this way, just by having a look at these at the dashboard, anyone can know what's going on. Or even the task list card that I have created here tells me what is happening in every site. So For instance, in Site 1, Article 1, the editing process is going on, and then there's another one. So this task list just helps me get a quick overview, or anyone get a quick overview. And then the next question was, how would you summarize performance on a weekly basis? What I would do is, at the end of the week, I would check the dashboard to see how many articles were finished per site, how much each writer, editor, and fact checker handled, and what was the stage that caused the delay. And then I'd prepare a short weekly report highlighting these completed works, the pending tasks, and what we can improve for next week to ensure that all the work is done on time and better. Now, what is the KPIs that I would use to measure the team and individual productivity? The main KPIs is that I would track are the number of articles that every person has done per day, the time taken in every stage, the articles published versus what was the target, if we are meeting the target or no, and the number of re edits and errors we are having, and also if we are being able to do on time submission. So these KPIs would help me understand how fast and how well the team is performing. Now, the final questions. So currently I am not studying, I'm already a graduate. So I feel that I can fully focus on this internship right now and then manage the work comfortably, because I don't have any, uh, right now, any priority towards education, because my education is complete. My long term goal is that whatever job I do, I want to be fulfilled and I want to feel purposeful at the end of the day, which I think this internship will give me an opportunity to do. And I'm very comfortable in learning new things and new tools. So if I have to engage in or learn or use time tracking tools, I would be happy to do that, because it will help me stay organized, meet deadlines, and also manage multiple work easily. And yeah, that's my complete overview of my complete workflow plan. Thank you for watching till the end.